Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here on Phil Hodges Experience. I'm your host, Phil Hodges. Today we're going to be doing another political video. The loose title, which is why I clicked on it, since I don't have any followers yet or anything. It says, shock moment, FBI official admits DOC alleging Biden took $5 million in bribes exists. DOC's documents, my bad. That exists to Hawley. Hawley, whatever. You can't see him. I can. Let's see my mouse. We got Masha, whatever her name is, Blackburn right here. She's one of the people who I like to watch a lot. Oh, there he is. This is the guy right here, and he's interrogating this panel right here. And apparently, one of these guys is going to admit the FBI did some really shady stuff that may have helped the Joe Biden family crime syndicate. So, we're going to go ahead and dive into this, and let's see what happens. I think Blackburn just got done interrogating somebody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abadi, let me just stay with you. You just started to answer Senator Blackburn's question that not releasing the 1023 or talking about it as a matter of life and death. Question of life and death, you said. Explain.
It is potentially a question of life and death.
For whom?
With regard to the source of the information.
So now we've confirmed that the document exists. That's progress because the FBI director initially denied that it exists. Why did he do that?
We have already and previously acknowledged the existence of the documents.
Yeah, after you first denied it. Now, when a member of this committee read it, right, the FBI director, let's just get the record straight. The FBI director initially said it doesn't exist. Then Senator Grassley said, I've read it. Then he said, oh, okay, well, gotcha. I guess it does exist. Now you're going back and forth with members of this committee what's in it. Why don't you just release it? Is it classified?
The document is not classified.
Okay. Will you commit to releasing it?
Senator, we'll take that back and we will work with you in this committee.
How about just a yes or no? Will you commit to releasing this?
That's one of the things that annoys me most about these things, is that nobody says yes or no. It's super easy. Will you commit to releasing the document? All he has to say is yes. Right? Whether you actually do or not, that's to be determined. But at least right now, visually, under this first interrogation, yes. This is the easiest question.
Unclassified document that alleges that the President of the United States has taken $5 million or more in bribes from a foreign nation.
The document has already been released pursuant to a subpoena to the House Oversight Committee.
Has it been released to this committee?
We will work with this committee within the parameters that are established to meet the request.
Will you release the document to the public? It's unclassified. Don't you think the American people have a right to see it?
Senator, the document, as you know, contains sensitive information that has bearing on the life of the source of the information, potentially.
You can redact the source's name. We do this all the time.
In some instances, Senator, and I know you know this, that is not sufficient to protect people. And that's what we strive and work to do each and every day, and I hope you would take that seriously, too.
Oh, I take it very seriously. But I also take seriously the fact that your institution has repeatedly abused its authority, has repeatedly targeted political opponents. Your institution is the one that went to the door of pro-life protesters with SWAT teams to try and intimidate people because of their speech. Your institution is the one that treated parents as domestic terrorists because of their speech. Your institution is the one that, according to the court, the FISA court, ran 278,000 unwarranted, probably illegal queries on Americans, right? That was your institution, correct?
Just yes or no.
With respect to the compliance incidents, yes, some of the other things you cited, we can take them one by one. They are not.
Compliance, you would characterize the unlawful querying 278,000 times of American citizens as compliance issues?
We've said before, I've said that totally unacceptable.
Who's been fired for it?
Nobody.
Individuals involved are handled through the disciplinary process.
Who's been fired for it?
We have in the case of the unintentional instance where something similar happened. We have fired people in the past.
Wait, I'm sorry. What does that
In
word
the-
salad mean?
In the past, we're talking about now. The situation is happening right now that you're currently in Congress testifying for. This was on June 13th, apparently. I didn't know that. This was on June 13th. This is current relative news. What is this guy? This is a bureaucrat again, dodging questions. And I like, on a side note, I like the fact that, I think it was him. I confuse him and Cotton all the time, but I'm pretty sure it was him. He interrogated a Biden nominee on one of the previous videos for the judicial system, the judge, and that lady handled him like a boss. He came in and had no idea that she was going to be as prepared as she was for his questions. He thought this was going to be the classic come in swinging and just going to obliterate your opponent, but she saw every one of his swings coming and had to respond to every single one, to a point where, in my opinion, based on her facial expressions, because I'm sure I've had that facial expression before, where she answered his question accurately. Wasn't quite a yes or no, but she did answer his question. And because he didn't like the answer, he just rephrased his question, even though it would produce the same answer. So after she explained it like 2 or 3 times, she just had this look on her face like, I don't know how else to tell you this. And I knew what was going on because I watched the clip. And basically, he was omitting a word. You know, like, this is, for example, I got an argument with the boss, and I said, I don't accept this type of payment. I want an alternate form of payment. And he said, this is how we're paying you. Yeah, but you missed out on the word alternate. That's why we keep going in circles, because you're not actually hearing what I'm saying, just going through your generic boss responses. And that's kind of what he did. So on this one, this is much better. Whoever the guy he's interrogating is doing better than some, but he's not doing well enough. Yeah, and we're only about halfway through, and it's just now getting up. So I'm willing to bet this will continue to get fiery.
The unintentional instance where what does that mean? Who's been fired for the 278,000 times that you improperly or illegally queried the database for American citizens? Anybody?
When we find intentional incidents.
Were you saying that the 278,000 queries were unintentional?
I believe that's correct.
Wow, 278,000 times American citizens' information was queried by your agency unintentionally? That's your testimony?
I would want to go back and check that, Senator.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you just told me.
My understanding is that the vast majority of
Wait, that's different. You just said it was. You just said it was unintentional. Now it's the vast majority. Which is it? Do you know?
I would want to go back and check it.
So you don't know?
My understanding is that likely all were unintentional.
Likely all. So first it was all of them, then it was vast majority. Now it's likely all. So you don't know is the answer to the question.
Correct.
I don't know the answer as we sit here today, but
You could have just said that 30 seconds ago.
Probably. Who was fired for the lies to the FISA court for the Carter Page warrant? Who was fired for that? Anybody? Has anybody been held accountable for your institution deliberately lying to a FISA court to get a wiretap on an ongoing presidential campaign?
There is an ongoing disciplinary process with respect to individuals involved in that.
Here's the deal. You're back in front of us asking for the reauthorization of extraordinary authorities. Multiple courts have uncovered extraordinary abuses perpetrated by your agency. You are at the same time concealing information about serious allegations made against the President of the United States, even as your institution also targets his chief political opponent in an unprecedented way. Why would we ever give you the blank check that you want to continue surveilling American citizens in an improper manner? Why would we ever do that?
Senator, we're here to talk about reforms today. I did get confirmation that the query is...
No, we're not. We're here to talk about the reauthorization of Section 702. Why would we reauthorize it, given your track record of abuse and illegal improper surveillance and political targeting? Why would we do that? Why would it be appropriate for this body to do that?
We've made significant reforms and implemented corrective measures. We've seen significant progress as a result of that, Senator. The
So you
Queries
say.
that you mentioned early were in fact unintentional. That's what I was just told by my counterpart.
That is an
Clarify
amazing.
the earlier question.
So your testimony is the 280,000 queries of American citizens was unintentional. That's your final answer?
That's how they were assessed by that team that did the review. I'm not satisfied with that. That's
Yeah, I
why
don't believe
we've
that at all.
implemented further measures, as I announced earlier today.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. And frankly, we've heard from your agency 1,000 times that you're going to do better, will do better. You promised after the abuses of Title I you'd do better, and then we find out that in the meantime you're illegally querying 280,000 American citizens' data. It's unbelievable, frankly. Everything you say is unbelievable.
So,
That's the guy who I know. Much better from the last one. I'm totally on his side. Once again, I think the FBI and probably CIA needs an entire rework from the ground up, from the top down. It doesn't really even, what you need to phoenix this. You gotta burn it all down so that way it can rise up and be better than it was before, or at least as good as it was before the bird got old. Have you ever seen Harry Potter? So this is much more interesting. It looks like answers are finally slowly coming down the pipes. And here in a little bit, being relative to time of politics, so like months, maybe a year if we're lucky, for speed, people will start getting fired for the massive mishandling of this kind of information. As somebody who was military intelligence, who had a top secret clearance, I'm very intimate with, have intimate knowledge on how on how you are supposed to collect, if you are even allowed to collect on U.S. citizens or our partners. And this guy's messing up. He did a good job not being the guy in charge while dealing with the questions. The main guy I would target at that would be Mayorkas. Technically, I think he's just the head of Department of Defense or something, but I would still blame him because he's the number one guy right now, in my opinion, on these kind of issues. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and please leave a comment down below so I have something to respond to. I really goes to support me and my endeavor of creating a YouTube reaction channel around politics. I really appreciate that. And with that, I will see you on the next one. See you in the future.